Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm now here to talk about some MLB news. A little bit here from Jon Morosi. There was a trade yesterday also that I want to talk about with the Mariners involving Seattle and Arizona, so we'll talk about that. But the first thing we'll talk about is Matt Cozy said yesterday, I'm hearing the Cubs have talked to the Blue Jays about Bo Bichette, who would play third baseman for the Cubs. This was first hinted at by @K Fitz yesterday, and @Jon Morosi mentioned the Cubs' interest in Bichette last year. Bichette is signed through 2025 and will cost big return. There's no shot he's traded to the Cubs to play third base. I just don't see it happening. Third baseman would be horrendous. Third base thing would be horrendous. He doesn't have the arm for third base, and there's literally no scenario that I think this happens. Like, if you're a Cubs fan, you have to be realistic. Like, you probably won't get Bo Bichette. I mean, why would they trade Bo Bichette? I just don't think it'll happen. Like, Bo's already resisted moving from shortstop in his career. Toronto's not rebuilding. Toronto doesn't have any of their shortstops to fall back on. It's going to cost, like, say, like 2 or 3 other prospects to get Bo Bichette. Maybe he wants to move on from shortstop or something, but I don't think so. And an update on a Bo Bichette trade scenario. This was Matt Cozy yesterday. Here's another point to ponder. Jon Morosi mentioned: how would Bichette the Cubs trade impact the way Ohtani views both of these potential suitors? I don't think it would impact at all. This isn't really a needle mover, I think, for Ohtani, because there was a report saying, the Dodgers want him. I mean, obviously any team would want probably one of the top players in baseball in Shohei Ohtani. But I feel like this has absolutely nothing to do with Ohtani. I think that's kind of just making stuff up. I don't think Ohtani would go to either of his teams. I think it's going to be the Dodgers. It's where he'll go. And we could get Yamamoto as well. Maybe we get both of them. A free agent, Jeimer Candelario, is among the Mariners' options at third base. After they traded Eugenio Suarez, that was a trade that I'll talk about. The details of that trade to the D-backs. So Jeimer Candelario is among the Mariners' options at third base, but that would actually require, the Mariners to actually spend money, though, to get a player. I don't know if you know that, Seattle Mariners. Honestly, Jeimer Candelario would be better than Eugenio Suarez. 22 K rate versus 31% K rate. Suarez just strikes out a lot. Like, I know he hits a lot of homers, but he strikes out a lot. And Jeimer had a career year last year, so I think it would be a better option. He was good for the Nationals and good for the Cubs, so I think that would be a really good option for Seattle, in my opinion. So, we had a trade yesterday. The Seattle Mariners acquired catcher Seby Zavala from the Arizona Diamondbacks, but apparently it turned out Zavala is part of a bigger trade with the Mariners that the two sides discussed for weeks. So I guess they had discussed this for weeks, and the D-backs and a few minutes later, not even like 10 minutes later, we get the news that the D-backs got their third baseman. This trade, Eugenio Suarez from Seattle, the D-backs get their third baseman. So they got a pretty solid third baseman. And Eugenio Suarez, he strikes out a lot, but he hits a lot of homers, so that's the upside. That's a really solid pickup. It's a really good upgrade at third base for Arizona, in my opinion. And I guess that means Evan Longoria might not be a D-back anymore. But he's a great teammate, solid defense, he hits for power, he strikes out a lot, but hey, it's worth it, I guess. So the complete trade was the Diamondbacks acquired veteran third baseman Eugenio Suarez from the Mariners, and here's what the Mariners get in return: right-handed pitcher Carlos Vargas and catcher Seby Zavala. So that's your trade details, and the D-backs badly wanted a power-hitting third baseman, now have their guy. I don't know about this trade. Losing Suarez to a couple of non-recognizable players doesn't sound like winning strategy for Seattle. I don't know. I think that's kind of a horrible trade. They didn't get a lot in return. It's a horrible trade for Seattle. The Mariners, obviously. It's a good trade for Arizona. Horrible trade for Seattle. Maybe they're making space for a bigger move, because if you're not making space for a bigger move, this trade really here doesn't make sense. And the Mariners, they love Vargas' raw ability, and Zavala's a solid backup catcher. I don't know. I mean, Yeah, you can go off Carlos Vargas' 2023 regular season and go, oh, look at the 5.79 ERA, but he only pitched 4.2 innings. It's a very small sample size. Will this trade work out? It could. Could we be wrong about this trade? Possibly. But as of now, I think they got fleeced. I think the Mariners completely got fleeced in this trade. This trade absolutely sucks. Because, come on, that's a bad trade. Now, shortstop Paul DeJong has a tentative agreement on a one-year Major League contract with the Chicago White Sox. He will undergo a physical on Monday. John Heyman was on the deal first. Got some more news here. That might be it, really. Just a little bit of news. Not really a lot of MLB stuff here to really, talk about, but just a little news, a trade, and a few other little news things I went over. Alright, there's one more thing. Lots of trade chatter about Tyler Glasnow offseason. The two execs told me they believe Tampa Bay will, quote, definitely move its ace. They're set to earn $25 million in 2024. I think as a Rays enthusiast, if you're a Rays fan, if you're a Rays enthusiast, you might want to move Tyler Glasnow, but it'd kind of be hard though, because he's good, but he's too injury prone. Shota Umanga, who started for the WBC Championship game for Japan, is now expected to be posted between now and Monday. That would put his timeline to sign roughly a week behind Yoshinobu Yamamoto. The three-time Sawa Mua Award winner is expected to land a deal worth at least $200 million. I think the $200 million is in reference to Yamamoto. I don't think that's for him. I think it's for Yamamoto. Yamamoto is expected to land a deal worth at least $200 million, not Imanaga. Industry types are projecting a deal similar to Kodai Senga's 5 years, $75 million. But that's all the news. And the Mets, last thing is the Mets have hired a Yankees trivia answer as first base coach. In addition to John Gibbons as bench coach, the Mets are planning to name Atona Richardson as their first base coach, per sources. Richardson was in the same role for the Giants last season. But yeah, so that's really all I have to say for this MLB video. So until next time, I'm out. Peace.